Yo, what's going on, people? So, I was on the Michael Savage website where it was, I'm checking the news. I don't really care for mainstream media. If something happens in the news, I'd rather listen to Michael Savage, conservative, or Tariq Nasheed, more. I don't consider him liberal. Tariq is more like a libertarian to me, a little bit. I mean, he said he was a Republican on Jesse Lee Peterson's show, but I like listening to both of them. And I heard on Michael Savage's website, it's his girl in the Netherlands. It's a Dutch woman. I say girl, it's a Dutch woman. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I forgot her name, but it appears that she wants to be euthanized because I didn't really look into much of the laws in the Netherlands, but you can legally end your life by like assisted suicide in that country. Because I did a little research on her story. She's married to some 40-year-old, and she has autism, clinical depression, and borderline personality disorder. And Michael Savage titled the article "Healthy 28-year-old woman is going to end her life next month." And I just wanted to look into the story. And I can understand to an extent why she wants to die. I can understand feeling like a prisoner in your own body. Like, I feel a lot better after understanding the culprit of my sleep spells, which was the lights on my phone and any other light. Like the chemicals, mercury that's inside of fluorescent like light bulbs and all lights, it's not something that I don't react well to. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get like a visor to where it works so I can just block all of it out completely, because it's working well for me. I'm getting more things done. But imagine if I had to live like that. Like, I couldn't read, couldn't write, couldn't do anything. All I could really do was just eat, work, and that's it. And that's not living to me. Now, I wouldn't end my life. I would just come to terms with the fact that I can't do anything that requires thinking. Because that's what you classify as a degenerate. If my whole life was just resolved around just eating and working hard manual labor, I would just find a career that's centered around being a degenerate. Like, I may work in a circus or a carnival, or I may be a stuntman or something like that. But I wouldn't end my life, because I compare life like this. I told you how race, like every racial group, you compete against one another, and you're in a race yourself. Just how like the Olympics have Russia, USA, Italy, just naming some random countries, Belgium, they all compete for like a gold medal. Well, the people, we compete against other races for our piece of the pie, and our what we want out of life. Because life is a race, and you compete against other people. And when you get old, you look back on all the things that you accomplish. I don't want to really bring religion into this, but what would you say if you live for 28 years and you accomplish nothing with your life? Now, that's pretty young. When you get like 50, 60, you should have some stuff to say, hey, this is what I did. But to end your life at that young age, it's just like you have done nothing to just end it so young. Like, yeah, you're going to get depressed. I don't know what my life will be 30 years from now. Hopefully, I still got all my marbles together, and I'm not in jail, or I'm not in I'm not in no mental hospital. I don't fucking know. I don't know what my life will come to be when I'm 50. But it makes me want to live to see, hey, what would the world be like? What would I be like when I turn 50? But when you end your life, you end the possibility, you end the potential of seeing what the future brings or what your future will bring. I'm sorry, but I think suicide is the most weakest thing somebody can do. It's nothing to be respected for, because you're ending your life, you're ending your potential. You don't know what the world can bring you in the future. And I know it sounds pretty harsh, but this is nothing. I feel like I'm just glad we don't, in America, to my knowledge, we don't allow assisted suicides, to my knowledge. Because I read this chapter on it was a doctor in Michigan who performed an assisted suicide on two people. It was like two women. I think they had multiple sclerosis, and he was charged with homicide, like 2 counts of homicide. But I can understand, to an extent, she may feel like she's a prisoner of her own body due to her mental health. But that's why we got to be strong about things. We got to learn how to fight. We got to learn how to fight stuff like that off. Because I'm gonna say this again. I live for the future. I live to see what would things be like. What will my future bring me 30 years from now? You know, just ending your life does nothing. And I think it's a little disturbing to just think about somebody ending their life that's not even like owned by the state, or they don't have cancer or AIDS. They're healthy and they're ending their life. Like, they're not dying, but they want to end their life. That's just a little wicked to think about. But and I'm gonna throw this by you too, because I know I sound like a robot. I say the same shit, but let me say this: mental health, nobody cares about that. You have to care, but nobody cares. All they do is give you pills, tell you to come to this appointment, come to this therapist. It does nothing at all. If anything, you will want to change what it is that you're depressed about. See, they don't want to do that because their little fancy degree that they got at some public or private university doesn't teach them how to actually change issues. All they know how to do is just prescribe pills, tell you to come to this appointment, this and that, and that's about it. But they're not going to change what you're depressed about. They're not going to change the conditions that made you bipolar. So I just come to the conclusion that nobody cares about mental health, but you have to care. I don't know if she can even like renege on her assisted suicide. Like, I don't know if it's final when people do this, but it'd be cool if somebody could talk her out of it, because that's pretty young to die. Like 20, yeah, late 20s, early 30s. That's just starting your life off. You're in adulthood. You understand what the world is, and that should be the time where you build your career, you build your money up. There's a lot of people who, I'm pretty sure, would want to be healthy and live in the Netherlands, at all places, but let's hope that out of everything, maybe she could take back everything, just reconsider her decision.